Hi, this is music journalist Justin Kantor. I recently had the opportunity to speak at length with Abdul, lead male vocalist, trumpet player, keyboardist, and longtime member of the S.O.S band. These interviews were conducted in conjunction with Abdul Records' recent reissues of the entire S.O.S band catalog on expanded CD editions. What you're about to hear are excerpts from the first interview we conducted this past February. You can order the Abdul Records CD reissues of S.O.S Band and other Taboo acts on online sites such as Amazon, importcds.com, and Dusty Groove. Enjoy. So yeah, I had a chance to look at the BET Honors performance online. It was really awesome.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, it was great to see you guys up there looking and sounding great. So I imagine that's gotten some good things going for you as a result of that.
Yeah, well, we're getting a great response, so we got some things that are happening that's going to really help all that out, I think.
Okay.
But it's a great, all the good thing about it, what I've been getting is, naturally I'm going to get it from, like, fans and people that really care about us.
Yeah.
But the reaction that's been really important to me is from the musicianships and the artists.
Yeah.
They've been blown away. They've been like my friends and artists and people who really, prominent musicians and singers as well, have been just really blown away by the show. So that tells you a lot there from your peers because they really know what's up. Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell just looking at the people in the audience, like you said, like Shaka Khan and Halle Berry and all of them enjoying getting into the groove. And it was funny for me because I think I think it was the first time I'd actually seen Clarence Avon, so that was kind of
right?
cool too. I think so, yeah. I always hear about him. He's a legend, but I don't think I'd actually seen him before. So
yeah, he normally really actually we talk frequently, he and I, from time to time.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him prior to that, and I almost told him what was going on because we was talking about something else. We was talking, and I was telling him what was going on. He said, "Well, no, that's me." And he's telling me, he said, he told me, he said, I'm wrong. I don't, I don't normally do that kind of stuff. I told him I was going to do it, but
yeah.
I don't do that. So really, he's a behind-the-scenes guy.
Yeah, well, I always got that impression. But
yeah, he don't care about it.
It's good that Mary gave him the shout out and you did because Taboo. I mean, we have to thank for some wonderful music for a long period of time. So
yes, sir. Yes, and especially during the time now where they take for granted independent labels now.
Right.
During that time, independence wasn't a popular thing. They couldn't really last with the majors. They were subsidiaries of the major labels. So
right.
There wasn't that many of them. Because they didn't last.
Exactly.
But now you have plenty of them because that's the industry has changed so much.
Mm-hmm.
When the rappers started doing their own label and started putting their own songs out.
Right.
And they started just getting label deals through the label and start tying them in, getting label deals and production deals and whatever. Yeah.
Well, take me back a little bit, if you don't mind, to the very beginning. I was just curious to know, even before you, started with the S.O.S band, what were your musical beginnings, being that you're not only a vocalist but a trumpeter and a horn player, and you've done other instruments as well. Just tell me about your beginnings as a musician. What got you into it?
Well, initially, my really beginnings kind of started when I was in what they call junior high school. It's middle school now, but the name has changed.
Right, right.
And I was introduced to the talent shows. I had a friend of mine that was a musician that became a trumpet player in the band, in the junior high school band, and they would have these talent shows. And a friend of mine invited me to be a part of his band.
Okay.
At that time, the band was called the Velvetones.
Okay.
And this friend of mine was this guy that he was my age, but he was like incredible.
Mm-hmm.
His business sense was really keen at that point. Matter of fact, out of all the 10 guys in the band, he was more adjusted and more balanced guy for us getting business, for us handling the business concern.
Okay.
His name was Gino Jordan. So we that went for about 10 years from me. So I started in junior high school, and the same guy, we attended college together. And we took about 4 of us. We started at college. We took the same band to college, and we attended college, and we left there, and then we moved to Atlanta together. Okay. And eventually we changed the name from that to the Third World. So it was two Third Worlds.
Oh, okay, yeah.
One was recording in Jamaica, and it was us.
Yeah, yeah.
So we put out there, and they went national before we did. So we finally broke up through just trying, and things never happened. But we was a very good. So I was a musician, singer first. I came up being an entertainer out of a small town that. During that time, it was like a very lively town, and all the R&B acts, anywhere between Joe Tex, Johnny Taylor, Bobby Bland, B.B. King, all of them would come through this town, and it's about 2 to 3 hours from Atlanta.
Okay.
And it was like what they call the B Market. It was a club. So I started out playing, and during those days, a lot of the R&B acts would go to these towns, and they would have only their music director.
Okay.
And that would more than likely, most of the time, it would be a guitar player. So they would hire the rest of the band, and being that we was a functional, organized horn section, before I was able to go into clubs, they would hire us as a horn section. We'd go there and rehearse with them when they get in town, and we would come back that night, and they would let us in, and we perform, and they let us. I had to get permission from our parents.
Yeah.
But we would perform. But that was our beginning, our humble beginning of finding out how things were. So I came up being an entertainer.
So, what's the name of the town?
Albany, Georgia.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I just left there last night with my dad.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, celebrating his birthday.
Oh, that's cool. Well, so when you say an entertainer, like, are you like talking about like magic tricks and stuff, or are you talking about
being an entertainer, music entertainer?
Okay,
in other words, being an artist.
Okay,
being an artist, performing cover songs, all the cover songs then, because that was a great time for bands.
Top 40 type stuff.
Yeah, top 40 stuff, all the stuff. Being influenced by James Brown, Otis Redding, all those guys influenced, because we played all that material.
Okay.
And we came up during a time doing it self-contained, so it's self-contained was a more free time playing music. It wasn't structured. Music could go places. You had the bridges and the verses and the vamps and, long verses on album plays. So I came up playing that, performing like that, and following these entertainers. So that I was an entertainer and a musician first. And we moved to Atlanta from that time. With the same group moved to Atlanta. So we eventually broke up. But during that whole process, I was performing with this local group, same local group, and we was in somewhere in Tuskegee area. Okay. And I was approached by the Commodores. Okay. To be a part of the Commodores at that time. During that time, the Commodores was traveling with Michael Jackson. They was opening for Michael Jackson. The Commodores was always this self-contained, real polished group. Mm-hmm. And I was approached by them, but I was so involved with my group, I eventually turned them down.
Wow. Okay.
And but when I turned them down, they got so big, it was one of the worst nightmares I ever had after that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Lionel Richie just put out that record called Tuskegee last year, I guess you saw, and it was like alluding to his roots there. But when you were with that group, Third World, like what kind of music were you playing? Was that still top 40, or was that like your
top 40 and anything? Because music is more freer. In other words, we played album songs. We may play anything from songs that people wouldn't even know. Okay. But we would integrate that with the top 40 songs. Okay. Because we had the things that was entertaining, but also that gave the band extra repertoire for us, just more musical songs that were giving it to be interesting outside of the R&B songs.
To improvise and all that.
All those kind of things. In some rock groups, all of them, especially during the time of, because you got to understand, I came up during the time of the late 60s. Mm-hmm. The late 60s is when music was just so free. That was during the time of the Flower Child, the hippies, and all that kind of stuff, when music was just really free, and you would hear all types of music. Yeah. It was just one type of music. You would hear everything. So we had a chance to play all those different kinds of songs, from Blood, Sweat, and Tears to Chicago to a number of other groups that you wouldn't normally hear on an R&B station.